Hey, Aunt Blabby here with episode 7 of Aunt Blabby's Garden. They're coming along a little thick and furious right now, but that's because the garden's almost at its peak and we don't want to be missing anything. So let's go look at these blackberries we were supposed to talk about a couple of weeks ago. They're along in here. Now these are wild blackberries. Mother Nature put these here. We did not plant them. See them? Even the camera right? Of course they're not black right now, they're green. They're not ripe yet. But look at all the berries that are coming along. This was a sea of white flowers this past spring. Just a sea of them. Telling us we're going to get quite a crop this year. If the birds don't get them first, that is. Yeah, some wild things we just leave alone. Other ones we have to pluck up. Life is a balance. My husband used to know where a lot of the wild blackberry patches were. And he'd pick me baskets and baskets of them so that I could make blackberry jam. But they're harder and harder to find. A lot of the patches he used are gone now because the municipality widened the roads so the tourists wouldn't hurt their cars going up to the cottages. You gotta have priorities. And then we wonder why bears are blundering into people's backyards these days looking for something to eat. And I got a bear story for you. I'll tell it to you when we sit down to do the cards. Let's go along here. I'll keep you posted on the blackberries. There's two thistles growing here side by side under the apple tree. Hope I got the camera aimed right. You seeing them? And speaking of thistles, this one here is just coming into bloom. See the bloom on it? The nettle sure is getting tall. Look at the leaves on it though. It looks as if the Japanese beetle is favoring the nettle. Whatever turns it cranky. As long as it doesn't touch my tomatoes, I'm happy. If I use any nettle this year, it won't be that much, so. Okay, now hubby mentioned last time that I should talk about the mullein, so here's some now in the front of the garden. This is a young one, just starting up. This is a very, very useful plant. For centuries, this plant has been used for respiratory ailments. Asthma, bronchitis, consumption. The leaves can be made a tea of, or they can be dried and smoked. The flowers and the roots are also used. The seeds tend to be toxic for humans, so you don't use those. In fact, don't use anything without looking this up first to see how you use it, okay? Don't take Aunt Blabby's word for it. If you discover some of this growing in your yard and you want to try it out, that's great, but look it up. Do your research first, okay? Great plants also used for skin issues, too, topically. Okay. And I'm just going to see all the flowers. Pickles are going to come out of those. Just go a little deeper in, see if you can see any. I bought some pickles from someone who's a little... There, look at that's just a little tiny pickle starting out. Hope the camera was on that. It's pickling time. And last time I showed you the echinacea blooms just barely starting. Here they are again. I hope I'm getting this stuff in. They're coming along lovely too, aren't they? Okay. Move along here. What I was doing today was weeding the memorial garden. That's all I took out of it. There's still lots to do. You see most of what it is? Yep, ragweed. And it's coming out. And this is the thing, if you're going to pull your ragweed or you do another weeding, pace yourself, okay? Don't try to do it all at once. You're out in the sun and the heat. You want to be able to take a break in the shade, listen to the birds twitter as opposed to watching people tweet. Have some lemonade or iced tea or just whatever you like. Have a major coronary doing garden work, then the ragweed sort of got you anyway, didn't it? Now let's go along here. I want to show you that sometimes it's the smallest pepper plants that produce the most fruit. Would you look at that? Isn't that amazing? Peppers are all coming along beautifully. See the tomatoes in there? We got a little bit of rain yesterday, but a little bit is the operative word, not enough. So I gotta water after I'm done here. Okay. There we go. Now, bear story. I was sitting in the house with my husband. He was facing out the window. I was facing him, and he suddenly said, "There's a bear coming up the road." In such a casual way, you don't believe him, you know? And I said, sure, and went on talking about what I'd been talking about. He said, no, really, there's a bear coming up the road. So I got up and looked out the window and said to him, there's a bear coming up the road. Of course, he said, that's what I said. We went to the door, the deck, looked out. It was lumbering up the road, looking actually kind of discouraged and sad with its head down. I was worried about my cats. Now, I know bears don't eat cats or anything like that, but, you know, he could scare them badly, and I didn't want that to happen. So I sort of decided to do sort of a stage whisper call for one of them, because if you call one, they both come anyway. Tigger! The bear's head snapped up. He looked around and saw that there were people watching, and he took off across the neighbor's yard and into the woods in the back. My cats came in when they were called. Their tails were at least 4 times their normal size, and their eyes were like saucers. I mean, they had seen the bear. Excuse me, and the bear had scared them. Let's get to the card reading. I gotta be alert these days. We got a blackberry patch, and a lot of the wild ones are gone from the side roads and such, so I gotta make sure when I come out to garden that I'm not going to be doing battle with a bear over it. I'm using my favorite cards today. I don't hesitate to call them my favorite because I killed it tarot. Because these are the ones that first really spoke to me when I was learning tarot. So let's see what they're giving us today. We're doing a reading because it's Tuesday. And we got to remember that Mars is still in retrograde, okay? So we're still being introspective. And these are some fine cards. We got the Ace of Wands. Now this is about new beginnings, new things, new plans, new discoveries, new ideas especially. Okay, it's usually associated with work or creative endeavors or something like that. It doesn't have to be. You could be having a new baby. But however it relates to you, there's something fresh on the horizon for us. And this kind of goes with the idea that it's to do with work or creative endeavors, because this is the King of Pentacles, and he's all about hard work, seeing things through to the end. Something doesn't work the first time, he just goes at it again until he figures it out. This guy doesn't give up. And then there's Chariot. And this is about triumph and victory, but not without hard work. This is not overnight. This is not the universe dumps it in your lap stuff. In fact, it rarely is with tarot or oracle cards either. That's the thing about them. Sometimes people get their cards done and then they think, well, the cards were positive. The universe is going to give me this or that. And they sit back and expect everything to be dumped in their lap. That's not the way it works. You have to go out and get it. You have to earn it. You have to do the work that's required. You just have to trust your gut and go with the intuition, the guidance of the universe, okay? So, new beginnings, good ideas that you're getting excited about, hard work, don't give up. If something doesn't go right the first time, that's okay. Try another approach. And victory and triumph, the potential is there. You just have to make the right moves and do the things that you gotta do to get it done. Okay? So, remember, Aunt Blabby thinks you're the bee's knees. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Bye.